far, and for Boston, likely our first night dropping down into the 30s. So frost and freeze looking more widespread for tonight, especially as you travel through the suburbs, where I do think we'll see more in the way of temperatures below freezing for many spots. And you can see there's a few spots even falling into the 20s farther northwest. So the last time we dropped below 40 degrees in Boston was back in April. So it's been 172 days since it's been this cold. So by far the deepest chill tonight as we start to see these winds calming down that we're feeling out there this afternoon. Right now it feels cool as we're in the upper 40s to low 50s, just about 55 in Norwood right now. We still have some sun breaking through the clouds, but you can see there's more clouds in the pipeline here with this gusty northwest wind transporting that in. We're seeing wind gusts near 30 miles per hour, so it definitely is blustery out there as we're topping out in the 50s this afternoon. The wind dies down tonight, and as it does so, we also start to clear out. The combination of clear skies and calm wind allows for those coolest conditions to work into the area. But changes are coming. Things are getting warmer as we approach the weekend. We'll be crossing into the 70s. I'll have your full forecast ahead. Jessica.
All right, Kellyanne, thank you. And right now, a criminal investigation is underway in Danvers after a man was allegedly assaulted by a group of teenagers. The victim's mother says he's developmentally delayed. News Center 5's Matt Reed is live in Danvers, and Matt,
sunset, which is really key. To really get a good view of this, you have to look toward the western sky, try to get away from the light pollution, and you want to look 30 to 60 minutes right after sunset. And of course, there's a few things you want to keep an eye out for. We have an approaching full moon tomorrow, so that is going to be the brightest thing you'll see in the sky tonight. The moon's to the east. Look to the west. The brightest thing you'll see in the western sky is Venus. You'll want to look just northeast of Venus, so just above and to the right of Venus for the position of the comet tonight. It is going to continue to move higher and higher up in the sky, and as it does so, it will lose some brightness. So this is something you'll want to try to catch tonight as the opportunity is starting to dwindle. Sunset time this evening is right around 6 o'clock for most locations, a little closer to 6:05 as you move out toward the Springfield area. So add about 30 minutes to this timeline, and that's when you want to start looking up to the sky. Right now in the sky, we're seeing a good amount of clouds mixing into the area in Boston and Worcester. And that's the case for most spots. These clouds moving in from the northwest. As we move through the timeline and pause here around 7 p.m., you can see how our skies do clear, and that's expected to be the case overnight. Right now, these clouds also feature some showers out through New York and moving into Pennsylvania. There's a few drops moving out into Maine. So we'll be watching some of these clouds passing through this afternoon, expected to clear as the wind also starts to die down. The wind is gusty right now. We're seeing wind gusts up to about 30 miles per hour. So these temperatures that are already cool this afternoon in the 40s northwest and 50s into Boston and southeast feel even cooler. We're topping out in the low to mid 50s today, so we are below average. Average high is about 62. So plan a little bit of a chill out there for today for sure. Notice as we move toward about 5, we start to see more in the way of sun, less in the way of clouds, and then we're in for more clearing overnight. The clearing and also the calmer wind will allow our temperatures to fall to their coldest point we have seen so far this season. Likely for the first time, Boston falling below 40 degrees. We're dropping below freezing for most of the inland suburbs, and you can see there's a few spots that will actually fall into the 20s where there might even be a freeze as you move northwest of Boston. For most spots, we're looking at a possible frost, and this really is not ahead of schedule by any means. Our average for frost for Boston is about October 21st, but for Worcester area, it's closer to the beginning of October. So we're right on track for what's considered an average time to start seeing some frost here. Tomorrow, upper 50s, still looking cool, but we start to trend a little warmer here as we move into the weekend. We will be watching a developing area of low pressure to our south tomorrow, and that could throw some clouds into the forecast, especially from Boston southeast. And notice there's a chance of a few drops moving toward Cape Cod, the islands, and the south coast too. That's our really only chance of rain over the next 7 days. It's looking so incredibly dry and even warmer as we move toward our weekend. That's as we're, of course, looking at the forecast for the head of the Charles. Friday, likely our coolest of the 3 days as we sit in the low 60s with a north wind. But as we see a more westerly direction